if I know I'm playing the game to be the attractive character so I get more business. Right? It's the extra step, but I have to have the discipline. Does it come natural? No. Do I forget about it? Yeah, but I have to have that extra bit of commitment to make sure I can have that peace.
Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
Here's the thing I broke down for you guys. I think that's an important way to give you an overall process in terms of how to operate. I call it the social media triangle. It's this way that I just kind of designed it this morning, and looking at what I've learned through Warrior, what I've learned through you guys, and ultimately what's really helpful in how I do it. First piece is what do you think the first piece is? I need to post about if I'm going to be an attractive character in business. Yes. First part is business. Right? We talked about some of this before, but I want to give you a framework where you want at least all three of these, one of the triangle sides at least a week if you can, from the real estate side. Right? Your audience is who? Everyone, but if we're talking about this from a business standpoint, there's all kind of stories that some of you guys have right now about, oh, I don't want to do that, I shouldn't have to do that, this is my page, right? Whatever it is, but ultimately, what do you want in life? That's what you gotta ask yourself, right? And in terms of if I want to be here working all the time, and I know that my clients are going to look me up, what's my focus really need to be driven by? Business, right? In a way, I'm going to have at least match it in that term. I'm going to have a lot of stuff for me, but in terms, you have to figure out what's their purpose going to be, right? A lot of people have Facebook just on it. A lot of people have it just to snoop and look around. And so if I want to be a businessman, right, I'm going to make sure I can do things the right way and have it be seen and incorporated the same way. The way to push it, yeah. But I've just noticed that one thing I learned from Warrior, they said, if you be willing to live your life out loud, people will eat out of the palm of your hands. I think it's very, very important to look at just living your life out loud. A lot of people tend to do what? They hide. Why? Their fear of judgment. Fear of judgment by people who aren't even doing what? Spending money with them. So if I want to make sure I can really look at how I operate, I got to be willing to get outside my comfort zone just a little bit. Okay, business part's the easiest part, but you got to make one thing is a decision. I'm just going to post some shit. And also stick with it, right? So first part, what do you think the first part of business is? We talked about this before, this is kind of a review, but what's the easiest one that I can post about? Pending. Right? Pending deals. That's one of my touch points. So what happens, deal comes through, right? Make sure I take time, take a few minutes to do what? Tell a story. It's important to post more than just the pictures. Why? I'm looking for one word here. What do you think there is? Attractive character. And so I want to tell the story of my clients, who they are. And so if I have somebody who comes down from New Jersey, what am I going to tell? The story about people coming from New Jersey. Why? It's going to attract other people who read it who come from other areas. Anybody listen to Ed Milet video I shared this morning? It's pretty good one, right? We talked about what? Getting good at doing something. Telling stories. And so that's one thing that, as I've noticed, some of you guys have gotten really good at it lately, right, is understand how do I take what it is and make it into a story where it's attractive. Not just share some pictures, that's good, but ultimately a lot of people are just ignoring it. Are they going to connect with the pictures or connect with the story? The story every time. And so take some time when you're doing that to make sure I'm thinking about, okay, what's the story here and how do I have this story attractive? Doesn't mean you embellish it all, it just means I tell the right pieces of the puzzle. And I'm looking at that from who? The other person's eyes, who either is somebody I know or is somebody looking me up from somewhere up north. Because I'm going to tell you, people you call in your bucket, you're sending emails to, the first thing they do is go check you out. That's your new business card. Right? So think of it, understand it that way. Number 2, right? What else do you think another good one is? Another point in the process. Yes. Now, closing is another big one. What do you think people screw this up the most? Number 1, they don't post. Number 2, what else do they screw this up?
They don't take pictures with their clients and close the table.
They don't take pictures with their clients. Why? Why does that matter to clients? People bring connection. So if I post a picture of the house with a sold sign on it, it's pretty cool, but guess what it doesn't really do? Bring connection. Doesn't connect with the clients, and so they see real people. That's with who? With you. Now what do you have? A connection and actually something that's true. Because you better believe you get some of these people that are so biased, that are so negative, they see you with a sold picture of a house, what do they think? It's not real. It's not real. He's full of He just probably took one of his company sales and posted it on his Facebook. I've heard people say that. There's nothing more powerful, right, than photos and people. I want you guys to write that down for this part. Photos and people. Especially people beside you with a big ass smile on their face. Because what does that bring? What are they looking for the most, you think? We talked about this yesterday a little bit. If I'm looking for an agent and I'm sizing you up, what do I really want to know? Can I trust you? Can I trust you? And so if you're at the finish line with someone else who's smiling on the face, who's happy at the finish line, what is that showing me as a consumer who's looking you up? You can get the job done. Right? And you've got a job done before. And so is it the extra mile? Absolutely. What do you think limits people from doing that? Scared. I don't like myself on Facebook. I don't like my picture of me. I feel like I look overweight. Whatever it is. Right? But who gives a shit if I know I'm playing the game to be the attractive character so I get more business? Right? It's the extra step, but I have to have the discipline. Does it come natural? No. Do I forget about it? Yeah, but I have to have that extra bit of commitment to make sure I can have that piece. And so if I see you on your post and I go back, and I was just doing this the other day with people in business that I was just met or looked up, and I went back on their page, and guess all I saw was them just sharing some dumb shit like on Facebook. And that's what I thought. They ain't very good at business. They don't have very much on there in terms of what that is. But you guys have a massive advantage because you're still working face-to-face with clients. You have them, but you got to make sure that you make a commitment to do so. Does that make sense, you guys? Got to be what? Purposeful about it. Nothing happens without purpose. So number one, it's going to be a decision. Number two is going to be follow through. Almost like a checklist. If you want to make a task plan, you can do that where it reminds you to post a picture. Take a picture. But if you know you have a closing, like, hey, I probably should take a picture of my people. It's fear that holds most people back. Right? And just make sure that you're able to do that because why? Living out loud makes a big difference, especially in real estate. Okay? And so I have to have that discipline to do so, which is super, super important. Right? Number three, well, also people look at this is kind of for my sphere and stuff. Houses and deals. There's a reason this is in here as a hook. Houses and deals. You have to frame it up this way as a deal too. Why do you think it's designed to be there as part of one of the four things?
People don't want an agent, but they do love deals.
People love to look at houses more than anything else, and they love to find deals. And so if I have you as the guy or the girl that's posting some deals all the time, guess what I'm probably not going to do? Unfollow you or unsubscribe. If it's brought as value. But if I post all deals all the time, what happens? Unsubscribe. Right? And so I'm mixing that in. Hey, look, here's a hot deal. Back to my storytelling, and talk about here's a hot deal. You guys with me on that? In that scenario. If I'm a listing agent, what I can post, Jeremy? Here's one of my hot new listings. That's a deal. Right? And so I'm constantly being doing, but it also shows that you're an expert, that you know inventory, that you know what's out there. I'm just going to be attracted to that. Why? Because there may be a time I need to buy some, or I'm just going to leave you on here just because there may be a time you post a good deal I like. It's designed as a hook to keep the crack coming, so to speak. Okay, and so just be strategic in terms of how you do it. It makes a big difference in that scenario. You guys with me on that? Fourth piece, what do you think it is? Somebody mentioned this earlier. Industry. That would be what? Statistics. Interest rates. Market data. The KCM, I see a lot of people do KCM. One thing they want to do is just take a screenshot of our data that we have and post it every once in a while. Like once a month. Right? In terms of what that is. Because I want to give that industry expertise, but I can't just do all of these. So a lot of people screw up, and a lot of people have leveled up their social in a big way. And part of why I was sharing this today, because I can just see, I'm very proud a lot of people level up some of the social. But what do you tend to notice it all is? It's all just real estate. That's just KCM, pictures of houses, and that's really it, right? And so I got to make sure, how do I make sure I'm balancing this to the point where people are going to have me as a attractive character. Attractive character. I want you to look at everything from the frame or the glasses of how do I be attractive character. Make sense, you guys there? The first step, I need to be purposeful in regards to what I'm doing here. Which means I need to do what? Think about it. Run through the funnel of attractive character. Second piece, which I have to have, is I must have the personal piece, though. This is what a lot of people don't do. Why? Some of y'all just too shy and too scared. Do you have stories about why people are going to use it against you later on or whatever the hell it is? But if I'm purposeful about it and I'm posting things that are attractive character, do I really have to worry about it later on? No. If I'm posting my opinion about something crazy, then I might have to worry about it. And so then I'm okay with some of that sometimes, but just be aware of that. So I have to be strategic here because here's the thing. Why does personal matter? They want to know you're human. They want to know you're relatable because of what? People like them. Period. People trust people like them. So if I'm a mother and I have you a mother, right? Posting pictures with kids, your kids, guess what I relate to? You as a mother. Right? Or whatever it is in that scenario. And so the first piece of that, what do you think it is? Number one is family. If I don't have a family, what do I have? Dogs, right? Part of the family, right? So I have my dogs, I got my spouse, because guess what? A lot of other people, guess what they have? Dogs. And guess what dog lovers think? Holy you got dogs, she's got to be a pretty cool person. Right? She can't be terrible because she's got dogs, we got dogs. We're pretty much a great match. You guys don't realize people make decisions based on that. And so if I know that, I got to play the game the right way to make sure I can have that. And so there has to be that strategic part. Now, if I got kids, I'm posting my kids, posting my family, I'm posting certain things that matter. Why? Because I need people to be able to see that. I want you guys to look at this as a different thing in terms of a calling card, because a lot of people will post a story about it, and then what happens? They post a story about it, and then 24 hours later, what happens? It's gone, and so your client from New Jersey looks you up. They have dogs. They look at your page, and guess what they don't see? Dogs, because you just posted a story because you're too scared for people to see that long term. Right? Be strategic in terms of how I'm doing that. Very, very important to do. Second piece to this. What do you think it is? Life. Life. And that could be considered food. From the, what is it called? Clinicious lady? The clinicious, right? So the reality is, this is what? This is you doing life, and it goes back to what he said. It shows that you are what? Human. And you're normal, and you're just like me. But if they see you as just posting real estate all the time, nothing else, what are they thinking? Honestly, what do you think that somebody who's skeptical is thinking of you? What are they hiding? What's he hiding? Because all I see is real estate, nothing else. They got to be hiding something. What, he got a drug problem? You got, alcohol problem? People think like that because their glasses are skewed in terms of how they view real estate agents, and they're judging you the same way, right? But more importantly, they're just thinking, hey, what's that person hiding? Which matters, right? Which I think is important. Third piece is kind of a combination of that, but I want you guys to have it from this frame when you look at things. Because here's the thing. You can't really script this out. You just got to be aware, be in the moment, and take advantage of that moment. Make sure you post it. Third piece here is connection. What am I doing that connects with my people? Right? In a way, you're a celebrity to your clients, to who they are, because they're looking you up and they're judging you. And so what am I have this connection? It could be food. It could be a location. Right? It could be scenario. But you got to be purposeful in terms of what brings connection. There's all kind of events that happen that you go through that's going to bring connection in terms of how your people are. But I want today to change the way that you look at the profile from the outside, because your people are looking at you every day. There's somebody looking at you right now. Right? And so just think about that from that scenario. The fourth piece I noticed, and I really thought about this a lot, I think that matters, that people have noticed, people say a lot to me before, is it needs to have stuff of positivity. What do people hate on Facebook? Negativity, complaining. No BMW. You know what that means? Moaning and whining, right? They don't like that because when they're looking at that, right, it doesn't mean you can't do it every once in a while if you have a connection to it, but ultimately it needs to be things of positivity. You want to balance that out. Why? An attractive character is positive. Unattractive character is what? Negative. And so it's so easy today to be that positive voice in a world of a lot of negativity. There's a lot of times I want to go online and blast everybody. Absolutely, 16 times a day. But I don't. Right? Because it does not bring what I want long term. Right? And so it's important that I'm having that aspect because you got to think they're scoring you in their head, man. They're just scrolling back. All right, pretty cool. Pretty cool. But what am I doing? I got to hit all the boxes here. And it helps me live my life that same way. There's nothing fake, but obviously, I'm not saying create these things, but obviously this happens to all of us. Some of you guys watched a video this morning. Make sense? In that terms. But a lot of people hold you back, you think. Most of us on Facebook live in the shadows. But unfortunately, the client's not attracted to the guy or the girl in the shadows. They're attracted to the one that's living out loud. Right? That's doing things, that's having things. Right? Because especially if I'm in New Jersey and you're where I want to be. Does that make sense? I shared that example with you guys in the Myrtle Beach group where people had their vacation timer with like 21 days left and they're excited about going to Myrtle Beach. Right? And so that's the key part that I had a big aha last year that we're missing in terms of our attractive character is that we must be purposeful. And the last part here is ambassador. What do you think that means? Ambassador. I want to be the online mayor of the town. I want somebody who's in New Jersey or Ohio or New York or wherever they are to look at my page and do what? Want to be here. Get happy at right? See things that are good about Myrtle Beach. Not the crime ratio, right? Whatever it is. I want them to look at good things that are ambassador. I almost put lifestyle here. That's another hybrid, but I don't like the word lifestyle. Why? Because you see a bunch of realtors just probably post some lifestyle pictures that are all doctored up. And then that just all it does is attract more realtors, right? Your clients can see through that fake on Facebook. The only people like that is just other realtors. Like, oh, that looks pretty cool. They got these professional photos of them dancing on the beach or whatever, right? They want to see what? Real life. And so just understand it doesn't have to be perfect, that scenario. So that's important to look at. So the first piece of that puzzle needs to be beauty. What do you think that means? Beauty. So the number one selling point here is what? The beach, right? That's what they want because why? Some people, you watching that Myrtle Beach group, had never seen the beach before. Literally. It's been eye-opening to me to watch that and just kind of be in that vacation group where some people say, hey, this is my first time at the beach this week. First thing they do is they post a picture from the balcony. And so you want to be that attractive character there. Have those things where you're constantly doing that. Now, if I don't go to the beach, what happens? I don't have any pictures of the beach, right? So I got to be purposeful in how I do it. Doesn't mean you got to go sit. I don't go in the sand. I don't get in the sun, but I do walk the boardwalk. And so some of those are very, very important to do. I must be willing to show the beauty, rather it be at Broadway, the beach, or different places. Make sure I'm what? Purposeful about how I operate. Very, very important in that scenario. The second piece, right, which I think is kind of close, but I wanted to do this a little differently. Kind of what Katie was saying too. The second piece is attraction. What is the difference there, you think? Beauty is natural. Attractions are cool to do. I don't got to necessarily be doing them all the time too, but I can still share some things about that. I want you to look at it and say, I'm an ambassador to Myrtle Beach. Especially if you got people back home that you know, or you're from somewhere else. They're watching you. Right? But I want to be that ambassador in terms of attractions. It's up to do. An attraction would be tin roof, right? The beauty, the view up there is pretty amazing. Right? Music, things that people are looking at, thinking about, and they're going to go back and score you on, hey, does this person even enjoy where they're at? Because it does make a difference and it makes the sale a lot easier for you. But to do so, just like we talked about a few weeks ago, in this scenario, what do you got to do? You've got to go out and do some shit. Right? Be purposeful. Go on a date night. Whatever it is, you got to make sure that you're doing it. And if I have a problem, I tend to go to the same places over and over. Right? So that's my problem. But ultimately, you got to be open to think about that and make sure you guys are doing that. But the biggest aha I've had lately is just how many people are looking you up every day. Right? And it's got to have a balance of both, because why? I got to focus on the attractive character. Two main pieces you have to have. The final part of that, right, is you need two aspects in how they consume you. Number one, it's got to be photos. Second piece here, what? Videos. Videos sell a little better than photos. And that could be examples of what? How about start with a video of the ocean? Right? Which is what everybody wants to see. We talked about this a while back about sending your clients in the wintertime, right? Audio of the ocean sound. I learned that from what Kenny Chesney does all the time on No Shoes Radio. Makes me think about the Virgin Islands every time he does it. And so those different pieces here have to be very strategic in what we do. But I found there's two main limitations here. Number one, people get scared of posting. They live in the shadows, right? Those that live in the shadows tend to not have as much money and business these days. Why is that? Just because how it is. And so I got to make a decision. Is it worth me to get outside my comfort zone? Right? And the second piece why I did this, there's got to be multiple here, is I got to make sure what? It's balanced. Well, I've noticed that we get people to post, and all of a sudden they post, and what do they post? Only real estate only. And so it's very, very important to have a balance there in what that is. But this is kind of the agent blueprint, so to speak. Mine's changed a little bit over time as I have a lot more paid stuff out there. I've turned to change mine to more attraction of agents and potential coaching stuff. That's the strategy. And attraction, right? Does that make sense to you guys? But here's the coolest part. If you have this done right, and you talk to somebody for a couple months in New Jersey, and they kind of connect with you, and they like you, they've already looked through all your... If they decide they like you, there'll be more loyalty, number one. Number two, the transaction is a lot easier. Because they've been through your business card already, and right now your business card is your online Facebook. 100%. And so the key main piece is what? Business side strategically, but the business side has to have connection. If I had to analyze how do we make our business side better, we need more connection, aka what? If you had to look at us as a group, right, in terms of posting on the business side, what do we need more of? Faces. Right? That's our big one too, obviously, right? Which is kind of here, the closing. I need faces because they're looking to see if it's real or not. But here's the thing. If you think a lot of it's, you better believe the client thinks it's when they're looking at sizing you up. In our scenario here, the social media is only a supplement for conversion. For most agents, that's all they got. And so they have to lie and embellish. For us, we have a difference everybody else has. We have plenty of leads. But the key here is how do I use that to my advantage? Right? The attractive character piece along with the two other pieces we talked about here, right? Which is the calls and the new opportunity. A.K.A. our systems, right? Us versus them up top here. And so this seems pretty cool on paper. What do you think the disconnect is? You got to make a decision. Like you got to go over the thing and be all in on who you are as an agent and your identity as an agent. Does that mean you lose who you are on the other side? Nope, that's who you are right now in life. And people don't necessarily care just about your business. They care about what? You. And the one thing I've learned is living out loud makes a big difference.